Yeah, I got I did something big recently. I'm engaged now. I'm an engaged man now. Woo! That still feels surreal to say. It's been about a week and a half or so since the engagement, and it still feels very surreal to say. What I want to do in this video is walk you through like the behind the scenes of the planning process and like just give you those juicy little details. But before I do that, let me actually rewind time and tell you a little bit about asking her parents for her daughter's hand in marriage. Like, man, that's a story in itself. Okay, where do I begin? Okay, oh my god. It just, this chair goes all the way back and I wasn't ready for that. A few months back, I was in the beautiful state of Florida where her family essentially is and they live. And so I've been to Florida like probably a bunch of times by now at this rate. And this time around, I knew I wanted to ask her parents that, hey, is it okay if I propose to your daughter? And again, like I've never done this before and I want to be thoughtful and ask her parents and like talk with them and sit them down, and not even just parents, I wanted to also ask her sisters too. And so there was Elle's parents' home, and she for some reason left the house. And I remember thinking as soon as she left the house, because we were staying in Ella's family's home at this point, I was like in my head, oh, like this is my chance to ask. And I think I was in the kitchen with her dad. I was washing the dishes. He was behind me doing his thing. Ella wasn't home, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my moment to ask him the question. And there I am, like washing the dishes, and I'm like, okay. God damn, I should have prepared a speech or something. I turned over to her dad, Hoffman, and by the way, as a South Asian guy, like it took me a while to call her dad by her first name, because in Hispanic culture you can call people by their first names, but in my culture it's pretty offensive if you call someone by the first name, and so it took me a while to get used to calling him by his first name, Hoffman. I turned to him and I'm like, hey Hoffman, and he turns to me and he's like, yeah, Leaf, what's up? Do you think it's okay if I can talk to you and Delcy in private? Maybe in the backyard later tonight. I have an important thing to ask you. And I can tell he also got a little nervous too. And I was like, oh my god, I don't know what's gonna happen? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, you can talk to me about anything. And I'm like, yeah, well, to give you an idea, I essentially wanna propose to your daughter. And I wanna ask you, are you cool with it? Are you okay with it? And like, I think he got a little nervous too, but he was like very excited at the same time. He was like, oh yes, of course, yeah, no problem. I approve. Oh, I got the answer right away. I was gonna wait for like the nighttime conversation, but it seems like, great, I got the approval. And so there I was in their backyard, sitting with the parents, mom and dad, and I asked them like, hey, again, like I just wanna ask, is it okay if I can take your daughter's hand in marriage? And like, I plan to propose to her, and before I do that, I just want to ask, like, would you guys be okay with it? I was like nervous, right? It's just them two and me, and I'm asking a very vulnerable question. Generally, I knew they would say yes, but it's still a little nerve-wracking, right? And they both like were very excited and like, yes, of course, yes, see. I'm like, whew, I got their buy-in, great. And I didn't just want to ask her parents, I also wanted to ask her sisters. And so that night, I actually talked to both of her sisters, Melissa and Jackie, and I asked, hey, would you be okay if I proposed to your sister? They both agreed, like, yeah, let's do it, and they were very, very excited. And anyways, that's like the whole run-up until the proposal, right? At that point, her parents knew, her sisters knew, but she didn't know. And that is when the proposal planning process started. So now when it comes to the proposal, I knew I wanted to make sure that her family and my family were involved, but I also wanted to keep it a secret from her. Months before the proposal actually happened, I was talking to her sisters, I was talking to her parents, and I was trying to coordinate a date and time for them to fly in at the same time. I was also talking to my brother and my parents, and so there was a lot of back and forth and logistics planning and flights and all these things leading up to the actual proposal itself. Eventually figured July 5th is the sweet spot that works for everyone, and then I had to figure out the details of the proposal. So to make the proposal happen, I essentially hired a proposal planner. Now, I didn't know there was such thing, but upon research, I figured out that, oh, there are people who run businesses and their job is to set up proposals. How helpful is that? I found one online and I DM'd them. I'm like, hey, can you help me with this? And they're like, yes, our package comes with like the floral design. We have the right spots for you. And on top of that, photographs are also included. I'm like, perfect, perfect. Our day is July 5th. Can you do that for me? And they're like, yes, yes, yes. Ella loves the CN Tower. She loves Toronto and anything related to Toronto. So I knew I wanted to do the proposal with some sort of iconic Toronto thing behind it, which is the CN Tower, essentially, if you look at these photos. One thing I realized about this whole thing is that it is hard to keep a secret. And I'm a really bad liar. So it's weird, like when I know I'm lying, I feel like my face shows it, and I say the dumbest things, and then she'll be like, well, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, oh yeah, and I stutter, and I'm like, yeah, and I make some dumb excuses. Like for example, I had to pick her dad up from the airport. I had to leave the apartment at around 12 a.m. to pick her dad up from the airport. She asked me, where are you going? What are you doing? And I'm like, oh yeah, I have to help my dad run some errands and like move and stuff at 12 in the morning. Yeah, it's an all day and all night thing. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. Honestly, like I think I was pretty bad at lying, so she probably knew something was up, and I think she kind of caught on to like what was actually happening. So her family started flying in, so I rented a car, I drove over, picked them up from the airport, and I got them to their Airbnb and everything. And so leading up to the day, I gave everyone a full itinerary. Be here at this location, which was provided by the proposal planner, at this time. And then what's gonna happen is on the day of, Ella and I are gonna come, you guys hide away in the corner, and then I'm gonna propose, do it in front of all you guys, and then once the proposal is done, come out and like give us hugs and let's take pictures, right? That's the idea. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the day of the proposal. The day of, we had a lot of time. The proposal was planned for like 8, and so we had the whole day before us. And I'm like to her, hey, we have a dinner reservation. I want to take you on a fancy date. And she's like, oh, really? A fancy date? Huh? Wow. I'm like, yeah, we're going on a date. We're going on a date. Yeah, a fancy date. In fact, the date is so fancy. I'm going to buy you a dress. And on top of that, oh my gosh, you said you want to do your nails, right? Want to just do it right now? And she's like, why? What kind of restaurant are we going to? Oh, it's just a really like fancy one. It's extremely fancy. Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And she's like, uh-huh. I got her. In reality, I didn't really get her. We go, I get her a really nice dress that I really like, that she also really liked. We end up doing her nails. I got my hair done, trying to look fresh and everything for the dinner. And then leading up to the dinner, it was time to leave the apartment and go to the proposal spot. But then, out of nowhere, rain comes, ruins a lot of the florals, and the proposal planner texts me and be like, yo, you need to delay for an entire hour before you get down here because the florals have to be redesigned and everything. And I'm like, oh no, okay. And she's like, oh, what's taking so long? Like, Ella, she's asking me like, why are we not going yet? What's happening? And I'm like, yeah, no, it's, the dinner reservations is for an outdoor patio, and then the rain came. And so, because the rain came, they for some reason have to like shove our reservation an hour, and so now we kind of have to wait for an hour. And she's like, and I'm like, I got her again. No, I'm such a good liar. Okay, an hour passes and I'm like trying to keep her distracted. I'm like, oh, let's take pictures in the balcony. Oh, look, do this, let that, trying anything I can do to just kill an hour. Eventually, an hour passes. And then we start driving over to the proposal spot. Okay, at this point, the proposal planner is texting me, when you are coming, don't take this route there. Make sure you take this route. And my brother's texting me, everyone's secured, everyone's on the spot. And I'm driving, right? Imagine I'm driving the car. I'm getting pings. Like people are coordinating with me while I'm driving. And then she's talking to me about like some friend drama or something. and I have to like pretend not to notice the text, but do notice the text while keeping a conversation alive and kind of driving at the same time. And so I'm like, yeah. Oh my god, you don't say, right? At some point, because I could have planned this a lot better. At some point during the drive, I was using CarPlay in the car, right? And so that means texts show up in the Google map of the car, of the display of the car. And then I'm driving, and then her brother-in-law, who's also there at the proposal waiting for us, texts me something. And then his name appears, but you don't see the text itself. His name appears on the screen, and she looks at the screen, she's like, oh, I didn't know you text my brother-in-law that often. And I'm like, yeah, I text him. Yeah, about sports. Yeah, we talk about sports sometimes, and I text him about sports. Oh, really? What about sports? I'm like, oh, someone scored a goal the other day, and yeah, don't worry about it, it's all good. She's like, uh-huh, and I'm like, got her again. We park at the spot, and then the nerves really started me. I'm like, wow, this is like so real. Oh my god, this is happening. That's crazy. And we get out of the car. I take her down the route that the proposal planners told me to walk through. I hold her hand, and I'm like, well, yeah, the reservation, the restaurant is around the corner. Come, let me take you. Go around the corner, and then way in the distance you can see like the floral arrangement and the lights and everything. And I'm like, so this was not a dinner reservation. And she's like, mm-hmm. And I'm like, surprise! And she's like, oh, I love it. And we walked to the spot with all the florals, with the Toronto CN Tower in the back, with the water. It turned out so well. Originally, I wanted to get the sunset, right? At sunset, it's nice purplish kind of sky and everything, but again, because of the rain, things got delayed, so we have to do a nighttime proposal. But honestly, like looking at these pictures, looking at like the whole layout, my god, everything turned out so freaking perfect. And so there I was, I walked her there, and I told her, hey, I'm to ask you something, but before I ask you like the most important question in my life, I wanted to read you something. And so I read her a nice like cute little a letter I wrote her. And then I like started crying during the reading of the letter. And I'm like, whoa, I did not plan to cry. And so I'm reading this, and I'm starting to tear up. I look at her, and she's starting to tear up. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. I went down on one knee, and I like practiced that, right? Like it sounds simple, go down on the knee, but let me tell you, gents, if you're watching this, here's some quick tips. Okay, I think I'll do it, but I'm wearing shorts, so it might look kind of weird, but I'm gonna show you. Okay, the way I plan it is this. If the camera is here, looking this way, I avoid going like this, as you can see. Why? Because you just see this, right? You don't want this in the picture. So what you do is, like this, so you get the perfect, you know, the right angles and everything, right? And then when you propose, straight back, kind of like this, right? You don't want to go like that. Like that kind of looks kind of weird, right? So you want to do a straight back. And on top of that, I was wearing loafers, so I don't know if you can see it, but notice how my sandal is doing this? Okay, no, it's not doing it. But I was worried my loafers would like stick out in the back, kind of like that to the ground, like this. And I would look at it, and in the picture, it would look weird because my loafers are not like pointing that way. So be mindful if you're wearing loafers, and then actually do that. Okay, next is you want to make sure that the ring box comes up at the right side, and make sure it's upright and pointing in the right direction. I made the mistake, when I didn't realize it, is that when I pulled it out in the actual proposal, the ring was upside down. And I was like, oh, all the rehearsals, yo, and the ring was upside down. Anyways, no one else saw it except her, but she forgave me, which is great. Okay, and then you get up, and then you actually put it on her finger, right? And so that's exactly what I did. And afterwards, her family came out, and everyone came out. We hugged, and we took pictures, which is really beautiful. What advice would you give to someone planning a proposal? Make it personal to both you guys. And second is plan the proposal, but also plan out like how you're gonna hide it, because honestly, hiding it is like the hardest part of the proposal. That's what I feel. You gotta hide it. Like that is hard, and that requires planning too. And there you have it. The behind the scenes of my proposal, what went down, all the juicy details. Thanks for watching this video. It's really cool to like have you guys like watch me in one of the biggest moments probably of my entire life, and it means a lot. So thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. It really does mean a lot, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.